Good evening, everyone. Everyone that's in the room here at Ignite and those who are joining us online. We're really excited to talk about real-world application of AI. Something different. We heard a lot about AI in the past couple of days. Now let's see those who have put it into use. My name is Kattan. I'm a product marketing manager under Windows Developer, focusing on third-party apps and ARM.
My name is Mik. I'm driving Windows Developer Relations and Partnerships. Very happy to see you all.
Today we have 3 guest speakers. We're really excited to have them here. We have Apoorv Iyer, Executive Vice President and Global Head of Gen AI Practice at HCL Tech, Colin 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗁𝗲, CTO of Kahua, and Tao Zhang, Co-founder and Chief Product Officer of Manus AI. We'll go a little bit into the enterprise landscape, see why today it's really important to understand how big the opportunity is, some examples of use cases. We'll dive deeper into local AI enablement, and then we'll look at some agentic workflows. Bonus video, we'll see a little bit about Morgan Stanley as well. So why is this a big deal? 85% of Fortune 500 companies are going to be utilizing AI. It's going to generate $22.3 trillion in GDP and economic value. 1 billion apps are expected to be launched by 2028, with 40% incorporating AI. And 60% of the hardware will be capable of leveraging that.
The good news is that this opportunity is open to everyone. Whenever you start, and we know from the audience you coming from different places, some of you are app developers companies, you love technology, you want to invest your own engineering skills to really build AI models and make it end-to-end. Some of you may rely on consulting companies or integrators, or you may be actually this kind of companies. So you enable your customers with your own skills, your own practices, and you want to grow with that. Or you could be a business that have in-house development team. You want to control everything end-to-end. You have your own team who will be trained to do it, or you can actually rely on off-the-shelf AI models. Whenever you start off, there is an opportunity for you. App developers, like Manus, one of the fastest growing agents in the world, who really invest into providing unique AI experiences for customers. Or Kahua, leading business application collaborative platform with specific expertise in industries such as construction or real estate. Consulting integrators such as HCL Tech, the leading global technology company with many employees and hundreds of enterprise customers around the world. Or companies like Morgan Stanley, who really empower the traders to achieve more with the power of on-device AI. Whenever you start, whoever you represent in this picture, we are here to partner with you, to enable you, and give you this opportunity with our Windows AI platform. And we're very happy to see so many of you already joined the partnership with us. Companies like Adobe, Anything-LM, Belt AI, Bufferzone, and many more you see on the slide, each of them represent the real example of company who already doing local AI work on our platform. For different audience, for example, Adobe doing that for professional creators. Or for example, Belt AI is doing that for legal companies. Or Topaz Labs empower prosumers. Or RoboFlow actually empowering railroad companies and car manufacturing to do more with power of local AI. Why they're doing all of that? When we talk with them almost every day, we're trying to understand that, and we really come into these 4 very clear reasons. Privacy and security of models and data when it stays on device, that's clear benefit. Latency and performance. For some scenarios, you really need this live feedback coming immediately. And with the advance of local models, performance growing every month, every quarter, every year. Sensors and low bandwidth. With some scenarios, for example, oil and gas, manufacturing, the latency and connectivity may not be ideal. Or in some industries, they could be highly regulated, like financial services or government, and public internet will not be open to everyone. Last but not least, everyone thinking about cost efficiency. When you use local AI, you can provide this offering to your customer with better cost, and it could be a differentiated value that you deliver for your users compared to others in the market. This is the theme that we hear from them every day, but today we will invite some of them, as Diana mentioned, to share that directly with you. Let's talk more about this local AI opportunity.
Thanks, Mik. Mik talked a lot about benefits. Those are real. How do we start building those local AI experiences? Microsoft Foundry on Windows is a unified, reliable, and secure platform that offers an end-to-end AI developer lifecycle that enables experiences across the CPU, GPU, and the NPU. You have APIs. You also have Foundry Local if you want to implement more customization. And at the foundation of Microsoft Foundry on Windows is Windows ML. Windows ML enables cross-hardware compatibility, again, enabling those experiences across a diverse set of hardware. I think you should hear more from 𝗬𝗲𝗀𝗀. I'd like to invite Colin to the stage, CTO of 𝗬𝗲𝗀𝗀. Please give him a round of applause.
Oh, hey all, thank you for bringing me out.
So, Colin, what's your perspective on local AI on Windows and its potential impact on your customers or industry?
So for us, Foundry Local, it's at a high level, it's a software component and it enables technology. For us, it is a feature enabling component because for what we do, we can actually use AI locally without having to do any kind of online activity, and that's significant for us. And I'll talk about two scenarios where that's very, very powerful for what we do. First is offline AI. Sounds simple, you're offline, you've got AI and capabilities. But for us, Mick talked about construction, he talked about real estate. We have a lot of field users that go out in the world and they're working on sometimes new projects that are, they're excavating or they're building a skyscraper in the basement or they're 90 floors up and something unfinished, or they're out in a remote area. And with our product, our users, they need to still be productive without a network connection. And they also, now that they love AI, like everyone does, they want and really need to be able to use AI. And so that's what Foundry Local allows us to do, because it gives us access to the models, the AI models, so that we can do the generative AI, we can do OCR, we can do agentic workflows, all on the device. Another scenario that's significant for us is sensitive data security. And this one's interesting because it's for both online and offline. And for us, we have a lot of use cases where, such as the federal government or the financial sector, where there are documents, and sometimes they might actually be just images. They could be Excel spreadsheets, could be notes that you took. And there are rules in place that say that document must stay locally. It cannot go anywhere, whether you're online or offline. But you have use cases where you need to pull data out of whatever that sensitive document may be, and it might not be sensitive, but you can't expose the whole document. So out of the question is putting that thing in a cloud service, being able to send it to something where you process it in a cloud AI. But with Foundry Local, because it can all stay on the device, you can actually run things within our application and say, hey, let's take a look at this 2D CAD drawing and figure out the distance between two things, or what's open in these Excel spreadsheets, and get the data out of the model, the non-sensitive data out of the model, and then into our product. So it's really, again, works on online or offline. It's just a huge improvement for us.
Colin, I know your company has been in industry for some time, and you've built applications on Windows for many, many years. Many customers are curious what is the right time to start investing in AI. And when I started to talk more with you earlier this year, I was very intrigued that you feel now is the right time. How you decide that? Like, when do you feel, okay, now, like we've been around for a long time, we were successful in what we do, especially in industries like construction, real estate. What was the sticking point for you, like now is the time?
Well, it's a sliding time for a lot of companies. It depends on what you do and then the technologies available to you. We are very much using a Microsoft stack. We love it. There's a lot of possibilities there. And the tooling started to become about so that we're able to start using things across our products. And one thing I've seen, and it's really, you see this at Ignite, we've gotten past the point of just doing experiments AI and having theory. And now we've moved on to actual practical applications. And so that's really where we decided, hey, these things are adding real value now to us. And it wasn't just Foundry Local. We're actually doing the online services. We make calls into Azure to use a lot of the models that are there. But now it's really just taking those patterns, the ones that we've seen that are successful, the ones that users look at and say, hey, that actually adds value. It's high volume and very frequent and a lot of repetitive tasks. We've gotten to the point where that's something we need to put into our product. But then, like I mentioned, with the offline piece and also with the secure component, now it's really the time to do it because it enables us to have users be more efficient at what they do and also the higher quality of what they do based upon using all the new AI components.
Thank you, Colin. For people in the audience, if they want to start now to explore Microsoft Foundry and Windows, what would be your advice how to start?
So start small is the first thing I will tell you. And again, I say we're past the point of having experiments. You should start by doing prototypes. Don't try to bite off too much. That's one of really where I would suggest starting. Another one is when you work with these models and you are working through things, one of the biggest things we've noticed is that when you're, especially when you're using generative or using tooling like we do, is when something doesn't go right, actually ask the model why it didn't do whatever it is you asked of it. Sometimes you might have to push it a little bit and it might say, I didn't do that because I didn't know how. Well, you can say, well, what would you need to know how? And then you will get the answer back. And that really expedites the process of actually getting value out of the tooling.
Thank you very much, Colin.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Apoorv Iyer from HCL Tech. Please give him a hand. Apoorv, what's your perspective on local AI on Windows and its potential impact on your customers or industry?
Sure. First and foremost, thank you for having me here. And quick introduction about HCL Tech. We are a large GSI partner to Microsoft, have been a Microsoft partner for more than 35 years. And we're extremely proud that over the last 35 years, we have kind of partnered with them in every technology shift. First starting with client server on Windows, then going to cloud on Azure, and now the AI era going forward. So it's been a great partnership. Coming to your question, I think the Microsoft Foundry on Windows is extremely important for us. If you think about the Windows ecosystem, it's the largest technology ecosystem in the world. 1.6 billion devices are running on Windows, and it gives extreme capability and extreme impact that we can create for end customers and users by bringing local AI on those devices. So our thesis and working with the Microsoft team was to drive use cases, capabilities, and applications which enable local AI. One of the critical aspects that we've been working with some of our joint customers are in regulated industries. So you think about medical devices, pharmaceuticals, financial services, education. There are very interesting use cases that use what Mick talked about, whether it's security, privacy, low latency. These are all very important elements in these industries. And we see our customers looking forward to local AI solutions. And Microsoft Foundry, AI Foundry is really on Windows is really a great product for them to kind of look at and build these solutions on.
Apoorv, we really appreciate the partnership we are building, as you mentioned, and we know that you work with so many enterprise customers across the world. What's the signal you're getting from them about this local AI opportunity, the technology that we are offering together?
Yeah, the biggest customer signal that we see is they are looking forward to solutions where they can apply AI with low cost, so low cost of inferencing, but at the same time bring in privacy and security as a major factor of implementing local AI. That's the reason why, as I mentioned, our use cases around local AI are primarily in the regulated industries. I'll give a couple of real use examples that we've been working with some customers on. In the education field, in fact, we just had a meeting in Ignite today with the same customer. We are working with them on creating a proctoring solution for examinations. Because at the end of the day, a proctoring solution cannot go to the cloud. Right? It has to be private. It has to ensure the right security safeguards so that no cheating happens on the exam. And we've been working with them on creating an architecture solution on the Microsoft stack. Another great example is shop floor defect detection. Now, if you think about shop floor defect detection, it's a very important vision AI capability. And for that, the AI needs to be on the edge, right? You really cannot have high latency going to the cloud. So we've been working again on we have a product called VisionX, and we've been now working on bringing VisionX on the Microsoft stack to drive better shop floor detection. In fact, we've seen great results, 60 to 70% lower latency and very significant ROI for customers when the solution is moved from cloud AI to local AI.
I will ask you the same question I've asked Colin before. For audience who wants to start going to the same direction you just mentioned, what would be your advice? Where to start? How to start?
First and foremost, go and download it and experiment with it. So go ahead and do that. But more importantly, I think there are two very important elements because we play in the enterprise. So our focus is on the enterprise. And in the enterprise, the biggest takeaway is focus on high impact use cases, right? You can experiment a lot, you can do a lot of POCs, but what really matters is what goes into production. So it's very important to choose the right use case, create high impact, and drive that value for the organization. One of the things that we've seen that really does not work is a lot of enterprises focus on the tech, but they don't focus on the end user experience. So you need to really think first end user experience and then go to the tech. And once you do that, you will typically get a high impact use case in production.
Thank you very much, Apoorv, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.
There is another great example that we wanted to bring to you today virtually. We were happy to work with Peter 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 from Morgan Stanley to connect two things Apoorv just talking about, new technologies and customer experience. And Morgan Stanley represent one of the leading financial companies in the world, and we were super interested to work with them to enable this solution together. So instead of me telling about that, let's roll the video.
Morgan Stanley is an international, institutional, and wealth management bank. We are working with both wealth management customers and institutional customers who are providing trades, requests for quotes either electronically or using the phone. When a trader wants to communicate a trade, they have to be very specific, and there's a very strict grammar that explains how you can express it. You cannot make mistakes. A mistake can be very costly. It might cost money, it might cost reputation, it can even move the markets unintentionally. We have a lot of technologies today that enables you to translate from speech to text. Speech to form is the next level of this. Morgan Stanley turned to Microsoft Foundry on Windows as a solution. We were looking for a product, and Foundry Local actually have the privacy and security, it has the latency, and it has the cost efficiency in one product.
Hey, Peter. What's the underlier you want to trade?
Trader Desktop is a technology that enables the traders to enter their trade.
QQQ.us.
Foundry Local has been added to a component called the Omnibox, which is a small bar at the top of your screen where you can type, and now you can actually speak into that box to have your thoughts translated into the actual trades.
The quantity is 100,000.
The trader can be on the phone with a client, and they will just speak about the trade, and the computer is able to analyze as they are speaking and fill out it, and they can both hear the confirmation and execute it.
All right, thanks, Peter.
Morgan Stanley, when we look at the future, we see all these technologies converge. AI and all these agentic AI together is going to serve our clients better.
Not bad. Let's switch gears a little bit. We've been hearing that Windows is the canvas for AI. And today, more than ever before, you're able to transform your intent into action. And what that means is you can focus on the work that matters to you so that agents are doing the hard work behind the scenes. Windows OS is built for this. With native MCP on Windows, agent workspace, and enterprise-grade security, we're able to deliver experiences that are consistent, user security, consent, and control. I would love to invite Tao Zhang to the floor to talk about his experience as a co-founder of Manus. You may or may not have seen him at Keynote. Please give a hand for Tao.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Nate.
Tao. Tao, who built Manus, who can build a website in minutes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what excites you about the Windows platform, and how do you see MCP shaping the future of our interactions?
Yeah. I think, Manus before we work on the internet, which means we're not running on the native Windows. So behind each Manus task, we have a fully functional virtual machine running in the cloud. Then the agent will interact with the virtual machine in the cloud. But a lot of use cases for our customers needs our agent can not only interact with the virtual machine in the cloud, but also interact with the local Windows features, like maybe change the background of your Windows desktop, or maybe just use some files on your Windows file system. And with the help of the agentic features, from biggest thing. Now, Manus users can even still use the cloud version, but also access the local capabilities of Windows. Yeah.
Tao, Manus is known as one of the fastest growing agents in the world today. And at the same time, you were one of the first companies to actually work with us to really co-engineer this agentic capabilities on Windows.
Yeah.
Can you share more a little bit with the audience about your experience, anything interesting or insights you got through this process?
Yeah, it's very interesting because, just as I just mentioned earlier, before this collaboration, all of our tools are all in the cloud. So we never have any implementations for the local tools to be called. So to start this collaboration, the first thing we do is that we design some kind of mechanism for the proxy. Then we can expose some local MCP capabilities to our cloud services and to make it very secure and reliable way to do that. And we think this invest is really worth it because after we did this thing, it opens a new window for our users. They can leverage all these local capabilities on Windows. So I think before this collaboration, if our users want to use their local files on their Windows machine to build slides or build a website with Manus, they have to manually select all the files by themselves. But after this collaboration, they can just use the Manus in the cloud, ask Manus, okay, just maybe build a site for my last summer vacation with my family. And then, we will trigger the local MCP semantic file search MCP capability to search files in the local file system to achieve that. So it's really amazing that to make it into a hybrid mode, it's using the local capability, but still leverage the cloud capabilities. Yeah.
Thank you, Tao. Again, so many people use Manus, but I'm sure some people may not try it yet.
Yeah.
What is the easiest, fastest way for people to actually start with your product?
Oh yeah, we are open service and designed for everyone, for consumers. So I think maybe today may be the best day for you. If you haven't tried us, I think today may be the best day to try because everyone thinks that 2025 is the starting year of agents. So I think 10 years later, you can tell your kids, I started using agent in the first year. If you haven't tried, try today. Yeah.
Thank you. And the same question I've asked everyone intentionally. For the audience who just looking to start trying these new agentic capabilities, what advice do you have for them? When to start, how to start?
Okay, yeah. So I think if you are trying to build things on MCP, but I'm not just talking about the MCP on Windows specifically, but being as a developer, from the developer perspective, everyone just take MCP as a very magical protocol. It's just if you have MCP, you can use different tools or services from them. But in the real world, it's not true because MCP is just giving you the tools to be called for your agentic system. But if you want to make it work very properly, the description in the MCP's actions to be called is super important. So you have to be very careful about what the actions description coming back from the MCP server. So if you really want to get your agentic system work, sometimes you maybe have to modify the action description just by yourself. That's just kind of some little advice from developers or solution companies. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tao.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tao.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
We just listened to 3 of our many partners. We have a growing ecosystem, and it's growing very fast. We're really excited, and if anybody is interested in joining or learning more, you can find our contact information on the next slide, where there's Mick and I's emails. We are really excited. There's a lot of good work that's being done, and there's a lot of support that can be given to help you get started. And so we hope that today we have demystified the process a little bit so that folks can actually learn how to start building these AI experiences. If you want to learn more, we released a blog a few days ago about all of the net new products that have been announced. And without further ado,
Please spend 5 seconds to scan the QR code. We would love your honest feedback, but every 5 stars makes us happy. and we will pause for 5 seconds for you to actually open this link. While you're filling the form, we will ask our team to bring chairs to our guests. We have time for Q&A, so if there are any unanswered questions for our guests, that will be your opportunity. Thanks again, and let's bring all of our guests together. Thank you.
Are we supposed to bring our chairs?
So just start here?
We'll stand.
Yeah.
We're staying.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Any questions from our audience?
Colin, let me ask you a question. When you were here like 10 minutes ago, you were telling about your real-world local AI experience, but we also know you exploring agentic capabilities, the same that Tao was talking about. Mm-hmm. Can you tell a bit more about your experience and how you think between local AI opportunity and agentic?
Absolutely. So what we're referring to is we were talking about features we enabled earlier. We've got a lot more that we do with AI at Kahoot!, or our process builder that we use to create really what our product does is using agentic AI. And what we're doing there is we actually currently have it built where it does require an online connection to a service call to actually work with one of the frontier models and then in turn build things out. But we've experimented with and currently working on it right now, doing that actually entirely locally. And the results are fairly good. And and I will say it's getting there. And over time, it's going to get a whole lot better. Because one of the things everybody probably knows here, the local AI is running on local devices that don't quite have the horsepower yet. But you mentioned earlier, the GPU, CPU, and MPUs are getting there. And they may not take all that long for the local AI to use Foundry Local to actually replace what we are currently doing with agentic workflows for actually building workflow processes in our system.
Thank you, Colin. Feel free to come in. Tao, I wanted to ask you, in a similar way, we were super happy to see you part of the keynote on Tuesday, and you explored many capabilities that Microsoft Platform offering, the local AI capability on Windows, as we just discussed. You're also part of Windows 335 for Agents announcement we made this week, and you're also working with I think Copilot Studio experience.
Yeah, Azure.
And Azure.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little more about the variety of touch points you have and how you think about the value for users you are bringing throughout that?
Yeah, actually, like to work with Microsoft, because Microsoft like so many capabilities from the native Windows and also the AI Foundry. So as being an AI startup, actually, we benefit a lot from the collaboration between Microsoft. Like we can get all this, because we are general agent, we can do so many things in one product. So like on AI Foundry, actually we can get a lot of different type of models from them. And to work with the Windows 365 team, which help us, because before that we only use the Linux virtual machine. But now we can benefit from the Windows virtual machine, because there are like some certain apps that can be only run on Windows ecosystem. And it really like open a new window for us, make our users can also use some certain apps that can be exclusive on Windows too. Yeah.
Thank you, Tao. Yeah. And Apoorv, I wanted to ask you about business. You represent a consulting company. We talk a lot about technology and value, but in terms of really business stream, the practice you're building, you've been in the industry for a very long time. How you see this AI and specifically local AI opportunity from business lens?
Yeah, I think that there's first and foremost, we see a lot of potential on local AI because as I said earlier, a lot of use cases, particularly in regulated industries, do need local AI applications or products. So definitely there's a big market for local AI in general. From a practice perspective, it's very important to kind of bring in the right skills, capabilities, products, or tech platforms like you're investing in. I do want to add on the agentic side on Windows. I think we are very excited as an enterprise, as a GSI, because if you think about as MCP has come to Windows, you can do so many applications and create interfaces outside of the Windows ecosystem, accessing Windows applications, right? So there's just so many use cases you can develop, which can accelerate impact for end customers. So significant impact, across a variety of industries. We have seen customers who only do local AI for some of their end-to-end processes. So there's a great, definitely a significant impact.
This is very exciting. Well, thank you again for coming. Thank you for the audience spending time with us. I hope you enjoyed. I hope the links and QR code will be helpful for you to follow up. We're looking forward to talk with each of you, and we're looking forward for you to join us with this journey on AI on Windows. Thank you very much.